Like, no sport is worth your happiness. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Jacoby. Hi, welcome back. If you're new here, what's up? And if you are an OG subscriber, thanks for sticking with me. Okay, so today I've had this video requested, but I think it's a really good topic to talk about. So this girl, I think her name is Ava. Once again, I love that name, Ava. She requested me to talk about volleyball burnout and how you can deal with it, and because she's experiencing it right now and she doesn't know if she wants to play anymore or whatever. So I have some advice for those of you who are burnt out on volleyball, you don't think that you want to play anymore. I got you, because we've all been there. I've been there, and I will tell you how I got through it. So what volleyball burnout is. Burnout is basically just like not wanting to play volleyball anymore at all. Like, you just want to quit, you hate it so much, you're just tired of it, you're sick of it, the grind is like too much and you're just over it, you just want to quit. But I'm here to tell you that 50% of the time that's actually not the case. You just need a break rather than actually just quitting it, and that's what happened to me. So I guess I'll start with my story and then I'll give you the advice. So I played volleyball. I started when I was 13, which was 7th or 12, so 7th grade, and I was playing both school volleyball, club volleyball, school basketball, and club basketball or AAU basketball. So I was doing a lot, and I did that for I think I did that for 4 years almost of just playing year-round sports. And I got so burnt out that my freshman year of high school, I quit AAU basketball because I was like, I can't anymore. So, I mean, I'm completely fine with that decision. Even now, it's like, that was a blessing because I hated it. I mean, I loved it, but like, it was just too much. So I continued playing volleyball, but then my sophomore year of high school, like, I had like a bad coach. Like, she was just awful and not many people liked her. And so I was like, you know what, I don't even want to play volleyball anymore. Like, in my head, I was just like, I don't need this. Like, because a lot of girls in my area actually just played club and didn't play school volleyball. They just played one instead of both. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna play club, and I am just not even gonna play school because I did not even want to be around this person. I was like, I hate it so much. So I actually ended up quitting my sophomore year of high school. I did not play volleyball at all in school, but I did play club that year. So, but yeah, I just did not end up playing because it was not my cup of tea. I just hated it at that moment, and I was like, you know, I'll be fine about volleyball for like the fall season because like I just need a break. But then literally like maybe a week after, I was like missing it so bad. Like, it was like the biggest mistake. I was like, oh my god, like, what have I done? And it was the worst decision. And my coach, I see him because he works at the club I played for. He brings it up to this day. He's like, you know, if you wouldn't have quit your sophomore year, ... I'm like, I know. But yeah, so I ended up quitting and I like regretted it instantly. So that's why I advise people with burnout, I would really think about it. I would really think about it, because like I thought I was burnt out too, and then I ended up playing 1, 2, 3, 4 more years, and I had my 5th year upcoming next after that point. So I mean, I wasn't burnt out, I just did not like, I don't know what I was thinking. It was just a lapse in judgment, I would say. But I mean, you know, things happen. But at that, I really convinced myself that I was over volleyball. I didn't want to play anymore. I didn't want to play school anymore. I was like, whatever, I don't need it, blah blah blah. And then I instantly regretted it. So I think what I would say is really think about it, because you really never know if you're actually burnt out or not. And I say that because like there's some people that I know who were actually burnt out. Like they were like, you know, I hate volleyball, I just don't want to play anymore. And I'm like, oh, are you sure? They're like, I'm positive. Like, they're 100% sure. But for me, in my case, I was not 100% sure. I just knew I just didn't want to play school, which is not, I guess it's not completely burnt out, but I was a little burnt out on school volleyball. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna play club, but I regretted it. So I wasn't burnt out as I thought. But some people I know like just completely stopped playing because they hated it, and they're fine. Like, they're living their best lives. I'm like, nice. So sometimes you are burnt out, and I feel like the only way you'll truly know is by just really thinking about it. Like, you kind of have to imagine it if you were burnt out, and then as if you weren't. So meaning, like, say if you were thinking that you were burnt out, you need to think like your life without volleyball, without going to practice, without seeing your friends, without being on the team, without being in the team group chat. Like things like that, like little things that you wouldn't think of that you actually enjoy will be taken away, and then you'll be like, oh shoot, like I really messed up. So that's one thing I would kind of think about, is like your life without volleyball. And then if you are vice versa, you want to think it with volleyball, like is it worth it, like is this stress worth it, like I have a bunch of time commitments, I practice games, tournaments, yes, this is the hanger, I'm sorry, and all that stuff. So just think about that in retrospect, and I think that will give you some insight, because sometimes you will absolutely regret it. So another thing I would have to say for burnout is just to take like a step back, because also I feel like burnout comes from just like putting kind of all your eggs in the volleyball basket, if you know what I'm saying. So what I mean by that is like you're kind of putting all of your energy into volleyball, so maybe you need like a hobby, or like maybe you should put more focus on school, or like maybe you should plan out more quality time with your family or something like that. Like you just can't put all of your energy and all of your identity into volleyball, because that will absolutely consume you and you will get burnt out. I will completely agree with that. I've seen that happen. Like I've seen that happen where girls like grew up and they're like, oh yeah, I'm all about volleyball, and like they were so into it, but like that was their identity. Like they had nothing else about them that was like personal anymore. It was just like, this is just, I'm volleyball, like volleyball is me, I am volleyball. So they just got kind of consumed by it, and then by the time we all got to high school, they're like, I'm done, or that I don't want to play in college or whatever. So just saying, you want to have something else that you can identify with that makes you you, rather than just your sport, because that's also a huge problem in college. Is like say you decide to go play in college, burnout can still happen in college. Like there's so many girls who just quit because they just don't want to play anymore. They're like, you know, I actually hate this, so it's just not worth it, and they just quit and they just don't play anymore, which is fine. Like, do you? Like I know girls who were like, love it, like they were living once again their best lives when they quit volleyball, and they're like, you know, I'm just done, I just don't want to play anymore. And that happens in college too, which I want to stress to you, like this is not just like a pre-college thing or a high school thing, a middle school thing. Like it happens at all ages. So I would say for college it gets kind of interesting, because sometimes there's scholarships involved and you really have to think if you want to quit. Because I know one girl who was thinking about quitting, and I was like, dude, you literally have a full ride scholarship, like are you sure you're prepared to pay tuition and everything else for 3 more years? And she was like, no. I was like, yeah, so you might want to tough it out there. But sometimes like you just cannot take it and you have to quit, which is fine. But sometimes when you're in college, there's just more factors that you have to kind of think about, as in like money, tuition, transportation, like housing. You really have to think about how you're going to survive, like live basically without your scholarship. Because some people like literally live off their scholarship. Like that's kind of what it is. Like it covers like housing, your food, your meals, in your classes, and all your like your textbooks, and some of your like your clothing, like the gear and all that that you get. You usually wear that, and like a backpack and travel, stuff like that. So it's really important to really think about it, because you want to think if you can live / I don't want to say survive, but it kind of is survival of the fittest. That's what college is. It's like kind of natural selection, do or die kind of deal. Because like if you're not cut out for it, you're gonna get X'd out fast, and that's just how it is. But basically you need to think like, can I survive without this scholarship money? Or for example, will I be able to eat every single day 3 times a day without my scholarship? Like, will I be able to afford groceries, or will I be able to afford a meal plan to where I can eat 3 times a day, or will I be able to afford snacks? Like, you really have to think about that kind of stuff. And or will I be able to afford these textbooks? Like half the time the answer is no. So you really have to think about all the variables that can come with quitting and being burnt out. But also burnout, on the other hand, is like, if it's making you so miserable to where like you're just like not functioning anymore, you're like down, you're really dark and depressed, quit. Because like no sport is worth your happiness. But you can also transfer if that's the case. But also if you're just done with volleyball as the sport as a whole, quit. Because it's not worth it. It's not worth sacrificing yourself. It's not worth sacrificing your friends or anything like that. So I would say cut it off at that point. But all that to say, it's really about weighing the pros and the cons. There's not a concrete answer for everyone. Like, there's not a general answer I could give for every single one of you who's burnt out. I can't be like, yeah, you should quit, or no, you shouldn't quit, because it's literally so personal and individualized that, like, I would have to know, like, I would have to jump into your body and, like, think from your point of view, because, like, it really depends. Like, there's factors that you may not even think about that could really affect you. Like, for example, like I said earlier, like, if you quit and then, like, you're kicked out of the team group chat, that might hurt your feelings, and that might be like, dang, like, I just lost a bunch of friends. It might feel like that, but because I mean, it might feel like that, but I mean, sure, like, you'll still be friends with the girls, but, like, you're not, like, on the team, which is, you know how that feels. It's very close, very, like, very close. So I just want y'all to think about it. Just think about it, and weigh the pros and cons. It's really about, like, can I live about it? Can I not? And sometimes the only way you will know is by taking a break and kind of taking a step back from volleyball, maybe not playing for a couple days or a week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, and then realizing, like, oh shoot, like, I actually need something in my life that's gonna keep me, like, balanced, structured, or whatever, and I really like volleyball, and I actually don't want to quit, and blah blah blah. So that's my advice. I really hope you take it like that, and I really hope this helped, because I experienced burnout myself, but I ended up recovering from it fairly quickly, because I realized I've made a huge mistake, and that I actually really liked the structure volleyball gave me, the time commitment, the camaraderie, the opportunities that volleyball gave me. So just think about that, girls. But anyways, peace out, love. That's it for this video. Bye. I'll see you on Monday for the Q&A, which is tomorrow.